Welcome to Emerge News Now, the inaugural edition. I'm Matthew Chong.
And I'm Kristen Wong. We will deliver the news by gathering accurate information and reporting with clarity and depth.
There has never been a time when we needed the truth more. So, on that note, let's get started.
The province announced that the stay at home order will be extended by another 2 weeks.
The Ontario government announced in person learning will resume in Toronto, York, and Peel regions on February 16th. And
Bell Media laid off hundreds of workers last Tuesday to streamline their recently updated operating structure.
thanks very much for joining us. Well, we begin with the Ontario government's announcement extending the stay at home order for most of the province. Premier Doug Ford made the announcement at Queen's Park on Monday. The stay at home order will stay in effect in Toronto, Peel region, and York region until at least February 22nd. That's just 2 weeks from now. During the press conference, Ford said, quote, "The measures are working. Staying home is saving lives," adding, "It's still up to each one of us because we're not out of the woods yet. I'm still concerned about these variants. We can't let our guard down now."
The province also announced that students in schools in Toronto, York Region, and Peel Region will be back in classrooms on February 16th. All students in Ontario were learning remotely beginning in January as part of the province-wide lockdown. With the province taking a staggered approach, schools in Northern Ontario were the first to allow students back inside the classrooms, while students in the Windsor and Hamilton regions went back to school this past Monday. Education Minister Stephen Lecce said the government is taking a number of steps to enhance safety in schools, including stringent screening for high schoolers and asymptomatic testing across the province. Last Wednesday, Toronto City Council voted to extend the city's mandatory mask and social distancing bylaw for another 4 months. The temporary bylaw requires every person to wear a mask or face covering in all public settings and common areas in the residential buildings. In a news release on the City of Toronto's website, Toronto Mayor John Tory said, quote, "We are committed to doing everything we can as a city government to fight COVID-19 and help save lives during the pandemic. These bylaws were put in place based on public health advice to help stop the spread of the virus." Adding, quote, "Toronto Public Health has made it clear these bylaws should be extended to encourage people to continue to follow public health measures that will help keep them safe over the coming months. The bylaw will now be in place until at least the beginning of June. Ottawa, Kingston, and Peterborough will be going back into the color-coded restrictions. Regions in the grey lockdown zone will be able to shop in person again. Now that means that supermarkets can only be at 50% capacity and 25% in retail stores. Opening in 1985, the Scarborough RT was only supposed to operate for 25 years. 36 years later, it seems the line is way past its prime. With frequent breakdowns, the TTC says the only option is to shut it down in 2023. They are recommending Line 3 be replaced with shuttle buses in 2023, until at least 2030, when the Scarborough subway extension opens 7 years later. Councillor Paul Ainsley, who represents Scarborough Guildwood, tweeted a response saying, "People will be riding buses for at least 7 years while they wait for a Scarborough subway extension, if it arrives on time, as I have told people before. The report will be reviewed by the TTC board during their virtual meeting on February 10th. Toronto City Council also voted in favor of redesigning Yonge Street from Collins Street to Queen Street. City Council voted 21 to 5 in favor of the Young Tomorrow plan, which could see reduced lanes for vehicles, instead having wider sidewalks, more bike lanes, and public art. The city is mandated to replace a water main that is more than 100 years old and sits underneath Yonge Street. Councillor Kristen Wong Tam, who represents Toronto Centre, reacted to the vote, tweeting her thanks to business owners and residents, adding the redesign was a project 10 years in the making. Construction on the project is not expected to begin for at least a couple of years. Bell Media laid off 210 workers on February 2nd across multiple newsrooms in Ontario and Quebec. Bell Media spokesman Mark Coma said roles were cut due to the streamlining of their operating structure through programming decisions of Bell's radio brands. Unifor represents about 100 employees that were laid off, involved in Toronto television newsrooms, and were field camera operators. Howard Law, the media section director of Unifor, said some support staff are being temporarily laid off because certain TV shows are not being made in-house during the pandemic. Our democracy, our right to be informed and to push back against the tide of false information relies on a strong media sector, said Howard Law in a media release on February 2nd. We contacted 2 Bell Media publicists, but they did not get back to us for a comment.
British Columbia is extending its state of emergency until February 16th. The province did, however, renew restrictions for bars and restaurants leading up to the Super Bowl weekend. Health Minister Adrian Dix and Provincial Health Officer Dr. Bonnie Henry asked British Columbians to respect the ban on gatherings, especially with the emergence of COVID-19 variants. Ian Tostenson, the president and CEO of the British Columbia Restaurant and Food Services Association, spoke about the impact of these new restrictions on the restaurant industry.
The major effect in restaurants has been a shift from in-store dining to takeout and delivery. I think the takeout will boost the industry more so than people actually going out. And I think on Super Bowl weekend, takeout and delivery is going to be huge.
On Friday, February the 5th, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said Canada will receive 1.9 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine through COVAX before the end of June.
Canada is committed to making sure that the rest of the world doesn't get left behind when it comes to vaccination. That's why we are one of the world's top donors to COVAX.
Karina Gold, the Minister of International Development and co-chair of the COVAX Advanced Market Commitment Engagement Group, said in a statement on January 15th. This effort to get COVID-19 vaccines out to everyone is a win for all of us. The COVAX Facility Advanced Market Commitment will support 92 lower middle and low-income economies. Canada is determined to do its part to ensure that we have a fair and equitable distribution approach for testing, future treatments, and successful vaccines. No one is safe until everyone is safe. A media relations representative from Health Canada referred us to the federal government's vaccine rollout information page. You can visit canada.ca and search up distributing vaccines to find the latest information.
According to a new forecast, 84 countries will not receive COVID-19 vaccinations until at least 2024. The Economist Intelligence Unit reported that developed nations such as the UK, the US, and Israel are most likely to achieve widespread vaccination coverage by 2021, while less developed nations are left without enough doses to safely immunize their populations in the immediate future. Agatha Maris, the unit's global forecasting director, said that slow mass immunization rates will actively affect travel, political landscapes, and define the global economy.
On February 2nd, the World Health Organization announced that breast cancer has surpassed lung cancer as the world's most common disease. With nearly 2.3 million new cases each year, breast cancer is most commonly diagnosed amongst women. WHO cancer specialist Andrew Ibalwi further noted that obesity is a common risk in detecting breast cancer. With the growing global population, Ibalwi said that cancer is expected to rise to about 30 million new cases per year in 2040 from 19.3 million in 2020. In 2019, the Canadian Cancer Society estimated that new cases of lung cancer, breast cancer, colorectal cancer, and prostate cancer amongst Canadians in 2020 would affect 225,800 people, or about 48% of new diagnoses.
Denmark's proposal to construct an artificial island in the North Sea has been approved by the Danish government. The artificial island, which can power 3 million European homes, is part of Denmark's initiative to eliminate greenhouse gas emissions by nearly 70% by 2030 from levels recorded in 1990. The island will help supply green energy to homes and green hydrogen for the shipping and aviation industries and other forms of transportation. The island will be fully operational by 2033 and will be located 80 kilometers off Denmark's west coast. For this week's student athlete feature, we caught up with the talented Dina Rahal to see what she's been up to during this COVID-19 pandemic. Here's Thomas Karageorgis with the story.
Dina Rahal is a fourth-year Justice Studies student at the University of Guelph Humber and is also a member of the Humber Hawks women's rugby sevens team. Since the rugby season lasts 3 months, Rahal and her team would practice 3 days a week, train up to 4 days a week, and participate in tournaments every Saturday. Since there was no season, Dina mentions how important it is to stay active during the COVID-19 pandemic.
I think it's just finding productive ways and different ways to stay active, just because we're all kind of trapped inside, finding different outlets than being with the team. So lately I've been doing Zoom workouts with my team. So our high performance center has been running team sessions every week. So it's a little different working out through the camera and online, not doing the same workouts as normal, but I think that's been a really good way to stay active and still be a part of the community is a Zoom workout.
During normal times, the High Performance Center was available for all Humber's student athletes to do weight and strength training. Now, coaches post their workouts on an app for their players to follow.
Humber Athletics has a high performance center for the Humber athletes. So if you play on a team, we have coaches who help us with our workouts. So we've been using this app called Team Builder, and it basically has all of the workouts for you every week. You just log in, and they've been accommodating with people not having equipment. So it's a lot of body weight stuff and like cardio. So that has been a really good way that I've been keeping fit, is having that support by my coaches and kind of directing me in that way. I miss that like kickoff adrenaline. There's this feeling that you get at kickoff. It's like, oh, I'm about to tackle somewhere, or I'm about to catch this ball and like try to run. So I think I'm just missing the excitement that comes along with rugby in the community. I think the memories or all of the opportunities that athletics gives to their athletes is something that I will always hold close to me. We've had the opportunity to travel. We went to Bermuda and played in a tournament there. So that's something that I will always remember. And just kind of the environment that they have given, especially women athletes, kind of empowering women through getting strong and strength and, building this community of strong women is something that I really love being a part of. So yeah, empowerment through fitness, health and wellness has always been something really important to me, and I'm glad I can be a part of a larger community.
For Emerge News Now, I'm Thomas Karageorgis.
Tom Brady is arguably the greatest NFL player of all time after winning his 7th NFL championship on Sunday when his Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Kansas City Chiefs 31-9.
Brady has now won 7 out of his 10 appearances in Super Bowls and collected 5 Super Bowl MVP awards in the process. Brady also broke a number of Super Bowl records on Sunday, including the oldest player in a Super Bowl, most pass attempts, most completions, most touchdown passes, and many more. Not only did Brady make history, but referee Sarah Thomas did as well. Thomas became the first woman to officiate a Super Bowl. This year also saw 2 Tampa Bay staff members become the first woman to help win the Super Bowl. Lori Locust is a defensive line assistant, and Maral Javadafar is an assistant strength and conditioning coach. The Buccaneers are the only NFL team to have 2 full-time female coaches.
NBA star Kevin Durant was pulled from the Brooklyn Nets game twice on Friday against the Toronto Raptors.
Durant was forced to start the game on the bench for the first time in his career due to health and safety protocols. The 32-year-old entered the game halfway through the first quarter and played until the third quarter before being pulled after just playing 19 minutes in total. Durant tested negative 3 times within 24 hours, including 2 negative PCR tests. Durant had to leave the game after someone he was in close contact with tested positive for COVID-19. Durant has isolated himself from the team and will miss at least 3 games until he can return to practice on February 12th. With everyone else on the team healthy, the Brooklyn Nets will continue with their games as scheduled.
On October 4th, Interim Vice Provost and Chief Academic Officer Dr. George Bragas announced that the summer 2021 semester at the University of Guelph Humber will continue as a blended learning approach. With safety at the school's first priority, the summer semester will continually follow the guidelines of the winter 2021 semester, with a majority of classes using alternate or remote delivery formats. While a return to campus seems unlikely in the winter semester, Bragas expects that in-class learning will be available by the fall 2021 semester. When courses resume in person, the school is expected to continually implement physical distancing and class size caps as necessary. Bragas expects to formally announce the guidelines for this summer's program delivery format and internship placements during the first week of March. Detailed fall 2021 course plans will be announced in the first week of June. For more information, you can read the official announcement at www.guelphumber.ca/covid-info.
Starting February 16th, the University of Guelph Humber will be hosting a Career and Employment Expo for students and alumni looking to connect with some of Canada's top employers. Here's Melissa Patrizzi, the Career Coordinator for Business and Media students at Guelph Humber, with more information on the event.
So it will be a series of information sessions hosted by a number of employers about career opportunities, primarily for new grads, as well as some summer or internship opportunities. And of highlight, we have the Onyx Initiative joining us, which is an organization for to support Black talent pool through mentorship and job opportunities. So that is a great opportunity for students to learn about not necessarily specific career roles like many of our other hosts are doing, but to learn about opportunities for mentorship and career growth and opportunities down the road for internships and new grads.
All students are invited to attend the Career Expo and can register using their GHWorks account. Volunteer opportunities are also available for students who are interested in becoming CCR certified. Questions about the Career Expo or volunteering can be forwarded to Career Coordinator Sandra Fazio.
It's the bottom of the hour, time for the top of the news. First on the list, the province announced that the stay-at-home order will be extended for another 2 weeks.
Second, as classrooms in Southern Ontario reopened for in-person learning on Monday, the Ontario government announced that in-person learning will resume in Toronto, York, and Peel on Monday, February 16th.
The temporary bylaw will be in place until at least the beginning of June. And finally, Toronto City Council extended the city's mandatory mask and social distancing bylaw for another 4 weeks. And now you know the news for this week. Glad to have you in today. I'm Matthew Chong.
And I'm Kristen Wong. Have a great week.